This video is on the calibration switching of the new Syvex Dash application with our new GPSBT and BTIMU modules. Here you can see we're connected successfully to the BTIMU module in this case, and what I'm actually going to showcase is how you set up the calibration switching, not only for a Syvex ECU but also for aftermarket ECUs. When you click on the cogwheel in the bottom right hand corner, this will present the menu selection. In the section of the 5 o'clock, so where the 4 lines are at the bottom here, when you click on that, you're presented with all the count options, launch options, and anti-lag options. Now, these can be sent over CAN bus to your external entity based on the CAN you select. So when you go into the cogwheel again, you'll then have the option here of I/O setting. Now, in the switches section, you can choose what CAN bus it's connected to by clicking on it. So if you click on the 0, it goes to CAN 1. We're actually using CAN 0, and then it's using CAN ID 0x400 as default. It will send then the calibration, anti-lag, and launch control across 3 bytes. Byte 0 will be the calibration, byte 1 will be anti-lag, and byte 2 will be the launch control. These will then be sent in a decimal value up over the CAN messengers on a byte. You can then assign that in your chosen ECU of choice to those bytes, and I'm going to showcase how you do that with the Syvex. You can change the order in which the values are being sent out if you go into the menu option, but generally speaking that is not required. So let's head over now to the ECU and have a look at how you go about setting that up on an S7, S8 or S12 to pick up the cal switching options. We've now headed into the Syvex SCAL program connected to an S7 ECU, and I'm going to show in here how you basically set up the CAN receive options to pick up the calibration switch, launch select option, and the anti-lag select option. If you've got an S8 or an S12, it is very similar, although the S6 may be different, so you might need to speak to the Syvex support team regarding that. If you have another ECU, then you just need to look at the 0x400 frame and assign it to that, as I spoke about earlier. So let's go ahead and actually set up the ECU to pick up these switches. So we need to head to the data stream section. Make sure that the CAN bus that you're connected to on the ECU is matching the speed that you've set in your GPSBT IMU and BTIMU program. As default, CAN 0 will be 1 megabit and CAN 1 will be 500. So I'm actually connected to CAN 0, so I've got that set as 1 megabit. We now go to the generic CAN receive option area, and we actually want to use the CAN receive B. You can see that I already have that set to yes, but for the purpose of this, you can just click in here and select yes again. Now, the bus needs to be set on CAN 2, as I already have done, and the identifier needs to be set as 400 hex. This can be done by pressing 400 and then a H at the end to set that. Now you've got then the ability to set a timeout. If you have a value set of 0, what that means is if the BTIMU module or GPSBT module was to stop a connection with the telephone, it would basically continue to keep the cal position and status flag that you had from before when it was connected. If you have this at say 1000, if you were to disconnect the phone from the car, that would then cause the calibration switch and the launch control to turn off. So just please bear that in mind. And for the purpose of the video, I've got this set as 0, so it holds the last known value. Once you've got those set up, you can then head to the I/O configuration, and we can assign these functions to the XCAN for the receive. So calibration switch, we're going to press X here, and we're going to assign that to B01, because in byte 1 or byte 0 as it's sent on the CAN is the calibration switch. Then you've got the anti-lag select switch is on 2, and then the launch switch is down here on 3. And the launch switch is down here on 3. Once you've got that set up and assigned, you then need to program the ECU by pressing device and then program. We want to force the engine stop because it's already running. And after doing so, we now need to open some gauges for the items that we're looking to change. So cal select, ALS select, and launch switch. Now, if we go back to the mobile phone application, and then we click on the cogwheel again, and then select at 5 o'clock the switches section with the 4 lines, when you then now change the cal position to cal 2 and cal 3, you can see that now updates on the phone end. It doesn't go any higher than cal 2 in my particular installation because I have got the maximum cal position set to 2. Please bear that in mind if you are looking and you've run into that same issue. Now, after that's finished, if I select cal 3, it will now change to cal 3. Now, if I then go to the launch control page and turn the launch control on, you'll see the launch switch turns on, and we can turn it off again. And then in the anti-lag, we can also change those to suit. So basically, you can have your own dedicated engine calibration setups and anti-lags now from your mobile device.